So let's get into this episode review. We have, I would say, a lot to discuss, but do we actually? Hey guys, it's Morali. Hope you guys are doing well today. Back at it again with another video. Subscribe, daily and consistent content. Head over to my TikTok, guys, for Love Island reviews. And this video is sponsored by Frontline Therapist. Please go and check them out. And let's get straight into this video. Use my code. Now, again, we're getting another episode where 75% of it seems to be the Brett and Priya nonsense. I don't really care for this episode simply because of Brett and Priya. I do feel like they are poor casting whenever they're on the screens early on in the week or last week, whatever. And today a lot of people are reminded by how boring the season becomes. It suddenly plateaus, there's no good narratives, it becomes annoying, people begin to complain, and I feel like that always happens when these two come on the screen. I don't think Priya is a good casting on the show, neither do I think Brett really realistically does anything. When it comes to a bombshell, it doesn't also align with beauty but also personality, and whether you have that personality to carry stuff. The only thing that Priya did that was very useful in this particular show, but was right before she left, she pulled Faye away and literally said to her, listen, it was not me who voted for you, just want to let you know that so I can wash my hands with this, ignite more drama and leave the villa. It was very obvious by the way that she did that, the way she randomly pulled her to the terrace. I do assume the producers must have told her to inform Faye that before. I do feel like the producers are trying to find Faye's trigger points so that she can be irritated by stuff, because that is the only kind of drama that we are kind of getting, realistically speaking. I'm not mad at it, to be honest with you, when it comes to, vocalizing stuff. Throughout the other part of the episode, everybody is kind of scared to speak to Faye. I do feel like she is somebody who intimidates a lot of people, but she is not able to see it. And this in itself can be a weakness of your character, because people are scared to see your reaction. Why are people scared to see your reaction, Faye, if they find out that they voted for you? Simply because of the behavior that you have, exemplified throughout your time on the show. People are wary and know they want to be kind to you and funny with you and chill with you, but they also know that you are aggressive, that you can have that switch. And, realistically speaking, do these people want to hang around Faye out in the outside world? If you're not in a controlled environment, do you want to be around people who can pop off and whatever? And the fact that friends like Millie can't really say anything, or Millie talking about there's going to be a World War II situation, they're already seeing all of this happening. It's red flags for relationships as well as friendships. I do feel like there is also a major imbalance when it comes to Kaz and Tyler from what the people in the villa are seeing as opposed to the audience, simply because not anybody voted them for least compatible, nor did they even consider to vote them for a least compatible relationship. Yet, however, what they're seeing and their viewpoint is not transpired when it comes to what we see as the 1 hour footage. As an audience, we simply don't see enough of them, and we also see something different or feel like they may not be as strong as the other couples, when in the villa, as well as people who've left the villa, have all said that they're very compatible, they get on very well, and there's a lot of chemistry there. So I feel like that in itself is also food for thought and something to think about, because I do feel like they are vulnerable simply because of the lack of airtime that they receive. The fact that Brett and Priya, who are not even a couple, have the most airtime, more than a couple like Kaz and Tyler, within itself shows you that. For Priya to continuously say, Brett is boring, the lack of self-awareness is very telling, because how do you not see yourself as boring? I don't understand that at all. And the way she disrespected Brett by going around and telling the girls and boys that she's got the ick and she's got this. Yes, you can confide in your friends, but at some point you should be pulling him away. It shouldn't be the opposite way, and it shouldn't be a situation where he finds out from his friends, because it's embarrassing. It's put him in a spot where he thinks everything is great, but the friends know far more, and you shouldn't ever put your partner in that position. You should have told them and let them know. Perhaps you got the ick. I don't blame you. I think either party would have got the ick anyways, but I do feel like for Priya to say all this, I feel like she has a lack of self-awareness completely. I'm glad that she was able to apologize and say, I'm in the wrong, I should have dealt with it in a proper way, and she took accountability for her actions. But I do feel like it was her time to go. I don't even think it was a time to even come in, let's be real. I just don't think she's added much to the villa, realistically speaking, at all. We also have the next trailer for tomorrow, which I think is interesting, because it seems that Hurricane Faye has now returned. But is she hitting the right location this time? Because nobody asked her to come for Teddy, because that is what resulted in 25,000 Ofcom, reports, and now she obviously is going and gunning for Jake. I feel like this was going to happen, and this should have happened ages ago. They've clashed back and forth. They've had conversations back and forth. Even yesterday was an example. The tension is definitely there. With a combination of her knowing that her friends around have voted her, that tension is going high as well, and it seems that a lot is going on in the villa. I think it is definitely an interesting voting capacity, and not voting capacity, voting technique, and how they do so. And my one query with this is, why did they not do voting like this throughout the season? Can you imagine throughout the season if voting was done in this way? Then there'll be a lot of questions about who's my friends, who's this, who's that, everybody questioning stuff, tension. I think it's a very good technique, and I think this should just be repeated throughout and not just in the latter end of the season. Doesn't really make any sense. I think it should be also in the first half as well, because why not? It just adds that kind of tension and drama to it all. The fact that Faye was intervening conversations, especially with Kaz and Tyler as an example, she just continuously she knows and senses that something is not right. She detects that, and of course her intuition is correct, and she was proven that people voted for her. But she kept intervening conversations because I guess she felt uncomfortable and wanted to just be a part of stuff and inform people that she only voted people who she doesn't see as friends or doesn't see as a proper relationship or whatever, only for her best friends in that village to do that to her. I think it'll make her feel very vulnerable. I think it'll get her mind running when it comes to the entire situation. I'm just glad that Priya left and also Brett left. I feel like casting has been up and down this season, and when it comes to it being down this season, I do feel like the personality wise there needs to be some kind of techniques to detect whether one is going to have a good personality or not when it comes to the villa. I feel like background checks, as people may do, isn't enough, and I feel like you need to test their personality. You need to see their previous content. You need to see how they act around their friends, what would they do in these scenarios or situations, because you want people who are boisterous, loud, and also very interesting, because you need a combination of people like that. And I feel like that is where they played bad when it comes to the season. And also, again, I feel like the careful editing I find to be very interesting as well. Yeah, there's not much else for me to say, guys, when it comes to this review. There really isn't. I just feel like this season has been very good. I don't know why people are so annoyed with this season. I think it's been a very content season. I've enjoyed reviewing this season. There's been a lot of highs on this season. So I don't know why people are like, oh, it's quite bad or whatever. I've seen a few people, I think everybody is addicted to constant drama. I feel like the Liberty and Jake storyline for the past 3-4 days is thoroughly, enjoying to watch, because you're finding out as Liberty finding out that her self-worth from Jake, or is Jake going to keep playing her in the villa, and to see everybody else's realization that Jake is playing a villa, that Jake is playing a game, is also very interesting as well. So very interesting indeed. It's also interesting to see that Mary is just not here for Priya. The tension between those two was definitely there, and perhaps something else went on behind that we never really saw, but you can tell that she just isn't really here for her at all. I think Mary has, she is a pretty tough cookie in the game. She's played it very well, or she's just been lucky. And what I mean by that is, she is the only Casa Amor Islander that is currently here, and on the return of Casa Amor Islanders, a lot of them got shoved away very quickly because everybody ran back to their originals. So she was with Dale, she nearly got dumped like 2 to 3 times. So it's been a lot of times where she's been extremely vulnerable, but she's making it to that close area, to the final, whatever. And although her and Aaron are quite fresh and new, doesn't mean that we can't get a chance to know them. But I just find it interesting that she's the only Casa Amor Islander and she's survived 3 dumpings. Like, it's just a close call all the time. Let me know what your thoughts are, guys, when it comes to this review. Subscribe to the channel, click that button, guys, for daily and consistent content, and I'll catch you guys soon for another video.